Hello, avid readers, book nerds, or casual observers, and welcome to the Read Along brought to you by the Lit Round Table. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Anna, and this is our read-through of Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. All right, we're here for week 6. No, that's a lie. We're here for chapter 6 and 7 on week 4.
Correct.
Should I do it again? No, we'll just leave it. It's week 4.
It's fine. Yeah, it's week 4. Chapters 6 and 7. What were our chapter titles?
Yeah, chapter 6 is called Balance of Trades.
Mm-hmm.
And chapter 7 was Casting Loose.
Mm-hmm.
This was a lot. First of all, it was a long section. Chapter 6 was a bear.
Yeah. Even the Audible was like 2.5 hours long or something like that.
Yeah.
For like listening. I mean, not quite that long because I have the speed cranked up a little bit higher.
But if you listen to it at standard, it would have been 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's a very long chapter.
So it was more like, 2 hours and 15 minutes. I don't know how much time I saved, but yeah, it was a long one.
This is one of those chapters where had I been paying attention when I broke things up, I might have put this into its own week.
Oh, yeah. Well,
as far as page length goes. But it was nice to have this chapter paired with chapter 7 because they were very symbiotic in a lot of ways.
Yes, and it was a good bookend with it being the end of part 1.
Yes.
So, it worked out.
So I actually listened to this section instead of reading it because I was a little short on time. So my notes are not quite as extensive as they usually are, which is probably fine. But I feel a little bit like a fish out of water. Not unlike
Locke and Jean.
Our boys, who are very much out of their element.
Yes, but it was a lot, but I also really enjoyed these chapters because I love piratey themed things.
Right.
It's one of my favorite genres. So I have really enjoyed these last 2 chapters because it was really fun.
We're in full swashbuckling mode.
Oh yeah. We've met the salty old sea dog,
Caldrus, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's the one that the Archon Stragos has sent them to help learn how to become sailors, all the way from just sailing around a little dinghy around the port,
which they are not good at.
No,
at all.
No. So I mean, it was a lot of them. I mean, I feel like it could have maybe been like a Rocky montage of them just learning how to sail, but no, we went pretty in depth on
Yeah, but if this were made into a movie, it would be just this whole section would be a montage with special mention to some superstitions. The 2 primary ones being that women are actually good luck, which is not what you're used to hering about pirates.
Yeah.
Usually women are bad luck on a boat.
In our world, yes, but in the fantasy world of Scott Lynch,
which
women are good luck on ships.
I appreciated. And then also a cat. It's very good luck to have a cat, and it's very bad luck to not have a cat. And since there are no women on, even in the little dinghy, Caldrus brings a little kitten on their little rowboat because there's not room for a woman, which I thought was really funny. And that comes back.
Yes, in a pretty big way. But yeah, we're learning how to sail. Lots of nautical terms being thrown around. They learn about leeward and starboard and stern to aft and latitudes and longitudes, and it was very.
This kind of falls into a setting category for me. Where in my brain I was like, I know that this is important information, but
for them
never intend to be on a boat where it's important for me to know this stuff. It's like it fell right out of my brain. It was in there for 2 seconds.
like it's information that I know that Locke and Jean need.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And I appreciate how it seems like Scott Lynch did a lot of research into like knowing this stuff so that it could be as realistic as possible, because you know that some like naval expert is reading this book and either stroking his beard like yes they did their research, or they're like ripping the pages out and burning them because they're like so terrible.
Right.
So it seems, well, to me, a a landlubber, it seems like it seems realistic to me.
Yeah. Yep. Same.
But yeah, the superstitions with the cat and the women were different, and also the pirates fly a red flag, not a black flag.
Good to note. Thank you. I think I missed
Those are
that.
just differences from. So Anna is still getting over a cold.
I didn't mean to just clear my throat, but it happened. So I'm sorry.
Sometimes it's unconscious and you just don't even realize it. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I am doing so much better though.
Yeah.
From the last, well, certainly from the last read along, because I was like full out sick. But it's all good. Yeah, so lots about the boats. We also had the chairs get delivered. And there were 4 chairs. For some reason, I thought there were 2 chairs.
Same.
Oh,
I was
okay.
also.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought there were 2 also, for sure.
That makes me feel better.
There's 4.
Because I was like, wait a minute. They doubled. Why did they double?
I don't know what. Maybe I'll have to go. Like, are we crazy or?
Well, since you also thought it was 2, now I don't know. I just assumed that I was a bad reader in the previous chapters, which, happens.
Or maybe we just assumed that there were 2 chairs because Locke and Jean, or a duo, and Requin and what's her name?
Solandri,
are a duo. So like I just assumed that they gave them 2 chairs because there's like a lot of duos in this book. But I guess having 4 makes more sense for like a table setting. But
now, did they give us any indication of what the special thing was yet? No. We still don't know what it is about these chairs that Locke had them
no clue.
do. Okay.
But Locke did manage to convince Requin that they're being sent off on this sea voyage to pick up a like master locksmith safecracker person for this vault job by the Archon. So like he was somehow able to sell that, so that Requin isn't too ticked about them leaving.
Ooh, we also found out that Solandri recognized a tattoo on the back of Moraine's hand, which Locke didn't know was anything important. But it marks her as the Eye of the Archon, which then we also find out that Solandri used to have one of her own.
So she used to be working for the Archon,
right,
as one of his like secret police henchman bodyguard people.
Right, but no more.
No more.
And then we had more of the like tension between Solandri and Locke of her being like, there are things you don't know. You have no idea.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, I just want to know. Spill the
beans,
always really, Solandri. Spill those beans.
It's always really entertaining when those two are alone together. It's just interesting, like the banter, the dialogue.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah. Oh, we had mention of stiletto wasps again, which is making me nervous. Yeah. I don't like
it's
them.
Because, so the reason they came up again is because the ship that smuggled the stiletto wasps into Talvara was the same ship that they're on now. Like it was all connected.
Okay.
The stiletto wasps, he was like the captain was trying to sell the nest with the queen, and the Archon found out, and they burned the nest, and Customs took the wasps to destroy them, but then sold them to the Sinspire to Requin. But then the ship got renamed and like furbished and christened as the Red Messenger, which is now the ship that Locke and Jean are going to be on. So it was all connected.
Okay.
But,
well, thank you for connecting the dots. I knew that it was
yes.
connected, but I couldn't recall exactly what. Like, I knew they were talking about the same wasps. But the fact that they came up twice makes me nervous that they're going to come up again.
I mean, yeah, they're nasty.
Yeah.
And Requin still has them because that dude did not win his fight against the stiletto wasps.
No, he did not.
At all.
He did not.
So some of them definitely survived that. So, yeah, they may come back. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. And then this chapter ends with a dying woman, right? In the bar?
Yes. They're about to be done with their sailor training. Locke goes to a bar to unwind, and he just wants to get drunk. He hates his life right now. He's like, I don't want to be a pirate. This is dumb. And while they're there, there was a disturbance with some of the city watch coming into the bar to drink, and there's like this weird rivalry between the sailors and the city watch, and they're like, this isn't your bar, get out. And there's like a weird conflict there. But then the watch guy buys everyone in the bar drinks to smooth things over, and then one of the barkeeps comes over to offer them some alcohol, and then they take it, but they don't want it, so then they give it away to some other lady, and then she drinks it and promptly starts choking out.
Yeah.
So, the city watch buying the alcohol, the barkeep giving it to them, is all this like staged elaborate thing of like them being almost poisoned. Yeah. So that's great.
Which reminds me, we also found out that Caldress, the guy that's like helping them become pirates, has also been poisoned in a similar fashion as they have been. So he's also being coerced into taking care of them. And the beginning of this chapter, it starts out with them trying to figure out who it was that was trying to assassinate them before Moraine came and took them up to see Requin in the last chapter. And basically their conclusion was it could be anybody in the whole world. So they didn't narrow it down at all. And
one of the physicers in the bar, like one of the ship's physicers, tries to give this guy or this lady that's choking out from the poison like I forget what it's called, like a trach thing where like you cut their throat open and shove a tube in there so they can breathe.
Grey's Anatomy style.
Yeah, like Dr. Owen with the pen in that one episode. His first episode. Wow, that's a throwback.
Yeah, it really is. Combat medic coming in hot.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Yeah. But it was gnarly. But she died anyway. Sad.
Yeah, it didn't work. She was toast.
But the sailors were all super mad that someone just like got murdered in their bar, and they were like trying to figure out who was responsible, and like the bar owner had to drink the ale to like make sure everyone knew that his ale wasn't poisoned and all this stuff and drama.
Yeah.
The drama.
It was a lot.
But the barkeep went missing, and it pretty much ended with, well, we still don't really know who's behind that. Although they did say, correct me if I'm wrong, they did say, that's the word, priori. They were like, that means they have connections in the city watch. That means priori. So were the priori the people from the last book that were like the secret police, where like that old lady was their leader that lived in the tower? And
maybe there was a lot of,
I feel like
there was a lot of discussion about Camor in these two chapters too, because Caldress fought in some battle.
The thousand day war against Camor.
And he is not a Camor
for the Archon
sympathizer at all.
No.
And Locke kind of forgets himself and like says something kind of dumb, like forgets who he's pretending to be.
Yeah.
And gets himself into some trouble. Locke's not quite on his game still. Like he's not quite to the same level that he was in the last book. Would you agree?
Yeah, I feel like, Yeah, I think he's let the mask slip off a few times, like making that joke about how the Varari got like their butts kicked by
Mm-hmm.
Kamor in the war. It's like you're telling that to a combat veteran that fought for the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You're an idiot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, he realizes his mistake pretty quickly. I think he can sometimes just forget that not everybody knows that half the things that he says are like just nonsense jokes, and that
Right.
and then he accidentally offends people because some people take offense to the crap that comes out of his mouth. So
Fair enough. And I think sometimes he forgets that he's not in Kamor anymore.
yeah,
So
because he was in Kimura his whole life.
yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
culture shock.
For sure. But as far as your question about the priori, I don't know for sure. I don't recall.
I feel like that's who it was. So they're if that is who they think is trying to assassinate them potentially, maybe my theory before about the Duke of Camor being out to kill them is true.
I mean, he certainly could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's all about what Father Chains wanted them to do. He wanted them to shatter the secret peace between the government and the thieves in the area, and yeah, that's kind of what happened. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I had another theory though in chapter 6 that did come true in chapter 7.
Okay.
When Caldus is like teaching them how to sail, and he's like rowing with them and doing all this physical stuff. It says that he grabbed his upper left arm and he was like, "Oh, I'm getting too old for all this." And that second, I was like, "That man is going to have a heart attack while they're at sea."
Yeah.
And Locke and Jean are going to have to figure their stuff out on their own. This guy's going to have a heart attack at sea, like no question,
Yeah.
not a doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
This guy's totally dead. So that was a theory that I had when reading chapter 6. So moving on to chapter 7.
Well, yeah. So, spoiler alert.
Yeah,
At the end, Caldrus has a heart attack.
he heckin' dies.
I shouldn't laugh, but it was just like he was so
We'll
mad.
we'll talk. Yeah, we'll wait. We'll talk about like the lead up to that.
Yeah.
Once I want to talk about like getting their crew and everything first,
Yeah.
because that was also really entertaining.
Yes.
The Archon makes Locke dress up like a ship's captain to go recruit their crew from prison, basically, and break them out. So breaks them out of prison. They're all super thankful to be pirates. Yo ho, yeah, pirate's life for me. And then they go off and they go sail away to become pirates. But after they break these people out of prison to be their crew, which a lot of the people that were in the prison were actually former crew members on the ship with the stiletto wasps that they're taking. So it's just kind of funny that that's the way that worked out. The lady, what's her name? Name. Moraine, like they had instructions from the Archon not to kill any of the guards because that would like just make things more difficult, like PR wise. And then she goes in and kills them all.
Yeah.
After they leave, even though they did the right thing, they did it right. So it's like she is 100% like cutthroat, literally, and out to get them and wants them to fail.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
she's trying to sabotage them hardcore.
In her mind, if they're too successful, like maybe she'll be replaced, or maybe that'll like threaten her standing with the Archon if they're too like. I think she likes being the Archon's favorite little henchman, and if Locke and Jean do too well, that status will be jeopardized. Maybe.
Well, we also know that she is also working for somebody else.
Oh, that's true.
So
I forgot about that weird conversation.
Yeah. So she could be trying to undermine in favor of her other employer.
Wasn't the Archon in on that too, though? I thought that Stragos was talking to her, and they were pretty candid about how there were other powers at work here.
Right. Like he know. I think that he knows that she's working for someone else. I just don't know if he knows the full picture.
Weird.
But
yeah,
that's just speculation. I have no idea.
Yeah, so she's a total wild card right now. Like, I thought she was out to help our boys, but no, she's totally trying to stab him in the back. So that happened.
Watch, she is really Sabitha, just in a costume.
That'd be mean of her.
I don't think she is.
Yeah.
I just want there to be Sabitha so bad. I want to know who she is.
What if, beginning of chapter 8, Caldas was actually Sabitha in disguise, and they rip his mask off, and she's like, "Ha! I'm actually."
Oh my gosh, it's like Scooby Doo. Maybe she's actually working for Sabitha. Maybe Sabitha's like a head honcho.
The other party.
Yeah.
Oh. Sabitha is the Duke of Camor.
Hey, who knows?
Or that'd be Duchess. I don't know.
Well, it's just like King Arthur in Fate Zero is a girl.
Yeah.
Break those gender norms. Anyway,
they've got a crew. They've got their ship. They're pirates now. Yay!
The only thing they're missing is a cat.
And women.
And women. So
because all of the females that were on the crew apparently got sick and they couldn't take them on the boat.
Weird.
Bummer.
So Locke has been tasked with getting the cats for the boat, which he forgot about. But he lies and tells them he's got a whole bunch of kittens. They're just shy and they haven't come out yet.
Yeah.
And they set sail without women and without cats.
When I read the section, because it doesn't come up right away, but like the second day into the voyage, did you listen to the second chapter too?
Did.
So is it Jabril, the guy who's like?
I thought it was Caldrus again that noticed.
No, the dude, one of the prisoners, it starts with a J.
Okay, I don't know.
Is like the guy that Locke was like, well, you're gonna be mate, and he's like, mate of what? He's like, anything, whatever. I'm not in the Navy anymore. Just do what Jean says. You know what I'm talking about?
Vaguely. This is the problem with me listening, is that I don't pick up on stuff.
I was just curious, since I read the second one, I never got to hear his pronunciation, so I was just curious.
Sorry.
It's fine. But no, he's like, the other people on the crew have noticed that we haven't seen any cats. Normally they like to like curl up with us while we're sleeping or something, and and I was like, "Oh, you're missing your emotional support animals while you're at sea." That's sad.
It is sad. But then it's Caldrus that confronts them, right? Confronts Locke.
Well, he mentioned, yeah, so basically so when I read that Locke forgot the cats, I like set my book down. I was so mad at Locke for forgetting these cats because Caldas made such a big deal about it, how like, well, we're not going to have any women, so you better make sure we have cats. This is top priority. There have to be cats on this ship. And he's like, oh yeah, you got it, man. We're going to have cats. I'll make sure we got some cats.
Yeah.
And then one of the crewmen is like, hey, where's the cats? Oh, they're still sitting in the shack where I left them. A whole box of kittens.
Yeah.
Man, I was so... Because I was like, oh man, you guys are so screwed. If there's no cats on this ship, you're going to get mutinied so hard. Well, yeah. There's no cats and no women.
There's that conversation then. I think it's with Caldrus where he's like, he figures out that there's no cats and there's a storm coming. And he's like, you better hope that before this storm hits, we run into another ship that we can fight and take their cats.
Yeah.
Or else you're going to have mutiny on your hands.
Or you better hope that it starts raining cats.
Yeah. Which I thought was very funny. The idea that they're going to fight another ship just to steal their cat. But seamen are very superstitious people, so
Yeah. We did, speaking of superstitions, we got to hear some spooky sailor ghost stories in this chapter too.
We did.
That was fascinating. There's these creepy ghosts that just like fly around on the ocean. That'll just follow you around apparently. That's not disconcerting at all.
No.
We got to hear their version of the Lost Colony of Roanoke.
Yeah.
Which I think the place is called like Hope for Silver or something, which is just kind of a funny name
That
for
sounds
a
right. Yeah.
colony place. I believe that's right. But then basically it was just so many, like that story unnerved me because it was like, yeah, 300 people in that town and they all disappeared overnight, no bodies or anything. They found one of the ships that was there out at sea, and the crew members had like tied themselves up to like the mast, like the upper part of the mast, and like killed themselves with their weapons instead of letting whatever was chasing them have them. So I was just like,
Yeah.
that's awful. That's scary.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there. But we're going there. We're going.
I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen.
That's the place we're going. Yeah. So there's some creepy stuff.
Yeah.
There's some fun world building moments.
There are. Yep. And then Storm rolls in. They have not secured another cat.
Nope.
And poor Caldress.
Yeah. I was right.
Yeah.
He stumbles in and he's like, "Help me!" And I'm like, "Heart attack. You're dead."
Yep.
It's happening. I was right. And sure enough, he falls over. He dies right there, right after like berating them about how there's no cats, and that's super unlucky. And now he was their guy. He was going to be like crucial in helping them fake it
Right.
to victory.
Because he knew the whole shtick.
Like,
he knew the whole situation, except that he didn't know that they were not their code names or whatever. But like he knew that they weren't actually pirates.
so now everybody else on the boat thinks that they're actually a captain and that they're both actually seasoned sailors.
And they know what they're doing.
And
they don't.
And they have no sailing master who knows what they're doing heading into a storm. And they were just talking about how, oh man, there's a storm coming. That's plenty of opportunities for us to screw up and tell him to do the wrong thing, isn't it? Ha ha ha. Good thing we'll have Caldress with us. We'll make it through. He dies.
Yeah.
I'm stressed.
Yep.
I'm stressed for them.
And then the chapter ends. I was like, oh,
Yep.
Scotland, you would.
Yeah.
You dirty dog.
At least we don't have to stop and like do a reminiscence thing.
That's true.
Yeah, the next chapter picks up right where we left off. I just checked. So at least we don't have to like wait. It's not a true cliffhanger.
Right.
Just for this episode of the podcast.
Right.
Yeah, so they're in trouble. Our boys are in trouble.
They're
in a pickle.
Are. They really, really are. So
tune in next time.
Excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, for sure. See how they get out of this one. And somehow make the crew believe that they're still sailors. I don't know. We'll see. So for next time, is it 8 and 9?
It is.
Okay.
Easy peasy.
Chapter 8, Chapter 9. I'm excited. Excited to read and see how they handle themselves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
very good.
Okay, maybe they'll find a cat.
Cool. I hope so. Ooh, what if on like one of these tropical islands they're going to, they find like a tiger or something, and that can be their cat?
I don't know if that counts as lucky or not.
I feel like that's super lucky.
You think?
That's like the best cat. Yeah, or like a lion. I don't know.
Oh dear. Except that like a big cat is far more likely to terrorize the crew than a little house cat is.
Or terrorize other crews if they're pirates, you know.
Maybe they'll find a ghost cat.
Oh. That is dangerous. That's dangerously close to zombie cat, and we all know how you feel about zombies. So,
you're right.
Yeah. It's also a little too Pet Cemetery, you know.
I wouldn't know.
Zombie cats.
I mean, I get the reference, but I have zero intention of ever reading or watching. That's fair. Anyway, all right, close us out, dude.
Anyway, until next time, happy reading.
And we'll talk at you next time.
Later.
Bye.